Hey YouTube. Alright, so it's Friday. It's about 8:30 or so. I've been over here for a few hours since I got off work, since about 5 o'clock, 4:35, somewhere in there. So, I've got the headlights out. They're sitting on top of the car. I've got the radiator and fans out. It's over there. Got the battery tray out. Got the battery sitting on the back wall. The fuse box is pretty much unhooked. I just have to unplug a couple wires and undo one or two more plugs that the harness stays in the car. And then I've got the master cylinder and the ABS pump unbolted from over. Well, I got the master unbolted from the booster, and I got the ABS pump unbolted from the strut tower, and I kind of got it wiped down over there. It's looking much better. It's still a little dirty and stuff, and there's still some more grime down underneath and all over the booster. And I'm still debating on if I want to peel all this off, because I mean, you can see it's painted behind there. So if I tear all this off, it's still going to be red, and I think it will look a little bit nicer. I'll just have to clean it all up. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to clean all this up. It's just nasty. So yeah, but that's what I've been doing, is just working on getting this all torn apart and kind of getting everything moved out of the way. And I just wiped that down a little bit. See how grimy it is in there where the radiator was sitting. So I'm gonna have to pull that AC condenser out and get all that all cleaned out whenever I roll this out. And yeah, and then I also went over to the Grand Am storage and kind of organized over there a little bit, and got the Sawzall out, and I finished cutting off that transmission mount bracket for the factory automatic transmission mount that sits over on the driver's side, and got that out of the way. I'm hoping here in the next, I'm hoping Sunday, well, I don't know, maybe Sunday. I know if I finish doing the transmission swap and get it all finished up tomorrow on Saturday, then on Sunday I really want to pull the subframe out of the parts car and bring it over here and bolt it in so I can get this wheeled out and power wash it. And so that's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm stripping this down, kind of getting everything ready. I got to clean all this stuff off and get all this stuff out of the way, and that way there's nothing up here. And I got to clean off the roof, and the trunk's pretty much already cleaned off. And but yeah, I want to be able to get this together and on all four wheels and roll it out. And I want to power wash the whole car and get it all nice and cleaned up. And I really would like to be able to power wash in here and get all this stuff scrubbed down and get, you know, the wheel wells cleaned up. And I might end up getting some like bed liner spray cans and doing like a bed liner coating in here in the wheel wells. And that way it'll just keep it nice, and it would pop the black against the red. So but yeah, definitely I'm just trying to get all this cleaned up so I can power wash it. And I'm also gonna have to pull the front bumper back off, and I just haven't made it that far yet. But yeah, the front bumper's got to come back off, and that way once I get everything power washed, then I can also, like, you know, so I can install that trans cooler, because it's got to go right up in there. I guess I could just like pull that forward. It's going to be right up in here somewhere. But yeah, that's got to come back off, and that way I can get all this in here all washed and clean, so it's not all grimy and nasty. And yeah, I'm making a shit ton of progress. So like I said, I just got to undo a couple more plugs out of this fuse box. The fuse box is out. This isn't even hooked up, so this can just be moved. Yeah, I can move that transgo box, this other center caps for the other wheel. And these are just the new brake pads, front and rear, for the 07. So these can, I guess, go inside the car. That way they're not just sitting up here in the way. But yeah, I'm super excited, very stoked. This thing is so close. And then So this morning it said that the fuel pressure gauge was out for delivery today, but then whenever I checked the tracking, it says it's in Tulsa, but it never said out for delivery, and it did not get delivered today. So I was like really expecting that new gauge to come in today, and it didn't freaking come in. So I'm kind of disappointed, but that happens. So more than likely it should be here tomorrow, which I'm going to be out in Muskogee doing a transmission swap all day tomorrow. But it's totally worth it. Say I've already spent the money, had to pay bills, and I did order those fittings and stuff, which was only like maybe $80 of it, so no big deal. But yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling on. I'm gonna keep on working on this thing, getting this torn apart, and try to get it as ready as I can before tomorrow, or by the time I go home, because whenever I come over here on Saturday or on Sunday, I want to be able just to come over here with that subframe, bolt it in, bolt some wheels on, and wheel it out. And I already know I'm going to have to get the cherry picker from the Grand Am storage and get that engine and trans and subframe off of that cherry picker, so that's already going to be fun. But I can make it happen, so y'all stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys updated as I make some more progress over here on the 07, and yeah. Hey guys, so it's the next day, it's Sunday. I'm over here at my storage. Got this AC kicking, it feels so good. Thank you again, Frank. Really appreciate the AC unit. So, got my battery trays all nice and painted up, looking good. Got some brand new battery bolts for the side post. And then I've already got the new fuel pressure gauge. It's already on the regulator. And I just had to unscrew that little 90, and then that just threaded right in. So I haven't put any thread tape on it or nothing yet, so I'm going to have to pull it back off to get some tape on there. But other than that EGR bolt down there, the engine's pretty much 100% complete. So now it's just going to be getting this thing all cleaned out and cleaned up. I got to pull this condenser out, set it to the side. I still got to get the fuse box out, set it to the side. I need to just completely pull out the shifter cable because it's broken, and I have another one for it in the back floorboard. And then whenever I pull the condenser out, since I have to disconnect this line right here, I could probably just pull this whole line out. It's just that 13 up there on the firewall, right there. So I pull that 13 off and just pull this whole AC line. And that'll really clean out the engine bay a lot. I can't really disconnect the brake, the ABS pump, or the master, just because I don't want to have to bleed all the brakes. That's kind of why I just left the calipers hanging. So I do still need to paint the calipers as well, but I figure that can wait until after it gets power washed and then everything's nice and clean. I did bring the power washer. It's in here, so we got to get that unloaded. I'm still waiting for my buddy David to hit me back up. He said he's got like 4 water hoses, so we should be able to run the water hose from up front back here. And I still got to get the cherry picker out of the other storage so I can move this out of the way, which I don't think is going to happen today. My back is just still on fire. I got so sunburned yesterday doing the transmission swap for Roger and his wife. Like, my back is as red as that front bumper. Like, it's red. But I put this stuff on. It's called Arctic Freeze. It helps a lot. And so I put that all over there last night. Took a cold ass shower, and then put that on my back, and it's helped. But it was pretty painful trying to sleep last night, and so I kind of tossed and turned and woke up 4 or 5 times. But I got a pretty good night's rest, and I feel pretty pretty rejuvenated today, so I'm going to try and at least get some of this engine bay cleaned out and get this condenser out of here and the fuse box out of here and this AC line out of here, and just kind of get some more stuff cleaned up so I can really get this thing clean very well and go from there. So that's my goal for today. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you guys updated after I get all this stuff all stripped out of here. Alright you guys, so I've got the AC condenser out, I've got the AC lines pulled out, I've got the fuse box out. I need to probably just take those pieces of harness and put them in like a Walmart sack or something and tie it up really good. That way they don't get water in them. And the only other thing I'm kind of concerned about is that harness there, because there's a lot of grime on the harness and on the rail underneath the harness. So I'll probably end up unbolting that 10mm right there for that harness and pull that off, so that way I can get behind it. And then whenever I power wash, I want to hit that harness piece really well. And then once it's all nice and clean, I'll probably tape it up with some electrical tape, the whole thing, just to clean it up. Because I see some shit hanging right there. I don't like that. But overall, it's coming along pretty well. So probably not going to be able to get the subframe out of the parts car today. I know it sucks, but it is what it is. So before I can drop the subframe, it still has the engine and a transmission sitting in there, so I'm going to have to pull that out. And my cherry picker is still occupied. And yeah, it's a lot of extra shit tearing it apart just to take it home and move some stuff. And then I don't have anywhere to put that engine and transmission right now. So it's a lot of crap. But it'll get there eventually. So I know I might try to use that cart that I found that's in the shed and just take the handles off and maybe just set it down like right here, going across on both those frame rails, and it should hold it up high enough. Maybe I could just wheel it out with that cart and like maybe strap it down under there somehow. That'd be pretty cool. But yep, so I'll figure something out so we can get this out, because I definitely want to get this thing cleaned up, and I can't do it in here. And whenever I wheel this out, I need to scrape and shovel all that old litter and shit up and get the floor cleaned up in here. That way I can have a nice clean workspace for putting everything back together and not have to worry about laying my head in grime. And yeah, so here eventually we'll be able to get all this stuff moved around and go from there. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you guys updated as I keep making progress on the 07. Alright guys, so I've made a little more progress. I've got the front bumper off. It's sitting up on top of the car. And then I got the fuse box completely out. I went ahead and ripped out that foam because it was all torn up and kind of melted around in this area where that flex pipe blew out on the eBay headers. I mean, yeah, you can just see all the grime and everything. Also, I got that line unbolted from there, that harness. I just got it flopped up underneath the windshield wiper. And so, yeah, it's pretty much ready to be rolled out of here and cleaned up. And you can just see all this nasty grime everywhere. Ugh, it's just nasty. So I'm excited to get this thing cleaned up and see this thing nice and red like this all over, except for the scratched up areas, but that shit happens. But yeah, once I get this thing all nice and clean, then I'll feel much better about getting this put back in here and getting all this grime and shit. Look at that, just barely even wiped it. That looks 1,000 times better. So just power wash that off. Also, yeah, I got the power washer over here, so all I need is just get the water hose and we can get this thing cleaned up. So y'all stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. I don't know what else I'm going to get done, but I'll let you guys know. Alright y'all, so I've been wiping out the engine bay over here. It's looking pretty good. It's definitely still going to need power washed, and it needs a lot more scrubbing. I haven't even touched the radiator support yet. Just that tower over there, I still got to get up the top and underneath that edge there and get it going across. But it's coming along. I'm just having to reuse dirty rags from my bag of dirty used rags. But it's coming along, so I'm just going to keep on scrubbing and getting this cleaned up as best I can by hand. And then whenever I do finally get to power wash this thing, then I won't have to do as much work. And at least it'll be looking better for now. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you guys updated. Yeah, see, look, so I got my air motive fuel pressure regulator, got 6AN fittings, and then I've got, this is my feed, it's a 6AN, so my factory line there will just plug right in here. And then this side will send fuel to the front rail, and I've got it blocked off on this side. And then this one loops right here to the rear rail, and it's blocked off on this side. So now the fuel pressure, like all the fueling is done. I just got the gauge on there today. So hopefully we have no leaks with that. And so now I just got to get some line for my intercooler. So I don't know what size hose I'm going to need, but I want to get that clear hose. And then now that I've got the bumper off, once I get everything power washed, and in here in this box, right here, damn, there we go. And here I've got the pump and the wiring and then my fill neck. So I've just got to get some hose so I can get all that plumbed up and get the pump mounted. And then I've got to get that trans cooler mounted up in here somewhere behind the AC condenser. So I'm probably going to try to mount it up here in this little space here. So once I put the condenser in, it'll be on the back side and it'll be right in the vent on the front bumper. It's just the old one. Got the new one up there. Brand new fog lights. So I gotta get that thing painted. And I got my brand new headlights. So it's coming together though. So it shouldn't be too long and I'll have this thing back in here. Alright guys, so everything's looking really good actually. So I still haven't got made any progress on the radiator support. I ran out of cleaner. I got tired of using rags, so I just picked up some of my mess in from all that shit on the firewall and got in my trash bucket. And then I had a shirt. I cleaned off the roof earlier and there was a yellow shirt up there, so I just went down and wiped off all the dust off the whole car except for right back under here behind where I set the bumper. But I just kind of went around and just wiped it off, just making it look nice because she deserves it. She's been sitting in here for like 7 months. So yeah, I kind of just screwed everything back. I had the wheels sitting right here. I just got them tucked up in the fender well up there where they go, so I could scoot everything back, make a little more room. And then in the trunk, I pulled this trunk spot back, and so what I'm going to end up doing is cutting that hole out, and I got my plate for it. So eventually I'm going to get that done. I don't have a cutoff wheel or anything like that with me here. That's like, I have that diamond blade, but it's dull as shit. So I'm gonna have to get another blade either from work or just go buy one from Lowe's or Home Depot or something. But I mean, overall, the engine bay looks 80 times better than what it did previously before I wiped it all down. There's still a little bit of gunk back here in these corners and crevices, and like back here, and back there behind the booster, you can kind of see it. But, you know, down here in this corner, all down there is still pretty grimy. And then, of course, the radiator support. But, I mean, overall, it looks way better than it did. I'm very happy with how well it's cleaned up. I don't really like how it's all scratched up and missing paint and stuff, but it is what it is. No big deal. So, shouldn't be too much work getting this thing power washed and getting it the rest of the way cleaned up. And it's probably not going to be today either, which kind of sucks because I really want to get this thing done. But shit happens. So, I'll be over here sometime in the next couple of days. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. And try to get some more work done on this thing. I'll try to get a subframe over here. Whether I have to go out to the salvage yard and just buy one for 50 bucks and use it, and then once I wheel it out, a power wash and get it back in here and everything, I can always just go return it and get my $50 store credit, because I'm always buying something out there. So I should be able to use it for something. And yeah, so that's going to be it for now. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you guys updated. Hey YouTube. Alright, so it is Sunday night. It is 11 o'clock. And I've been over here at the 07 pre-storage for a few hours. And so I went to the house and I got this this cart that I dug out of the trash and welded back up. And I had to take the center wheels off because they only go this way. They don't swivel. And so I've got this sitting under the car. I had to jack it up on both sides and raise the jack stands to be able to get it to slide under there. But it's under there, and the car will sit on it, and it won't crush any of those brake lines or fuel lines or anything. It won't crush the downpipe or any of that. So that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, is just jacking it up and pulling the jack stands out and setting it down on this cart. And that way, whenever I'm ready, I'm going to have David over here helping me, and we'll roll this thing out. And then I've got the power washer right there, and I've already talked to Ray and Billy up at the office, and they're going to run some water hoses back here. And I'm going to get the power wash out the car, and probably power wash off the 06, and then Billy, I'm going to let her use my power washer, and she wants to clean up some stuff out here and over here and over there. So as long as the hose and everything will reach, like I told her, once I get done, she can use mine, and then that way they don't have to put wear and tear on theirs. And so I get to do what I want to do, and she gets to do what they want to do, and so it's like a win-win for both of us. So I've got that ready, and so I went ahead and painted the brake calipers. It was just a quick little repaint, and so yeah, I just kind of wiped them down and got as much of the dirt off as I could, and then just gave it a couple coats and made sure to mask off the bleeder and the brake line just to keep it looking nice. And so I mean, it's not perfect, there's little runs, but it's no big deal. And then yeah, so I got both the front brake calipers hanging, they're both drying. I'm just going to leave them, and then tomorrow whenever I come back over here, I'll give them another coat and let them dry for a little bit, and then I'll zip tie them back up into the strut towers once they're dry, and then get this thing set down on the cart. And I have to grab the cherry picker from over there so I can move this out of the way. And then I'm actually kind of debating if I can get this this motherfucker tight, the EGR shit. And tomorrow, once I get this out, after I power wash the car, I might just raise it up and set it down over this and go ahead and bolt this back in. And then that way it can just roll back under its own shit, and then it'll be pretty much back together, and then it's just hooking shit up, plugging stuff in. It won't be very long until this thing's running and driving. So I'm pretty stoked. I cannot wait to hear this thing run. So y'all stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys back over here tomorrow around like 9 or 10 a.m. So y'all have a good night, and I'll catch you over here tomorrow. Hey YouTube, so it's Monday morning. It is Memorial Day, so I have the day off. And so I've got the trunk loaded up with like 5 or 6 different water hoses and a bunch of stuff. And I brought a bunch of stuff in the back seat. The stuff to take back over to the storage. Got me some drinks and some Pop-Tarts. And so I'm about to head over here and start getting everything moved around and try to get the 07 pulled out so I can get it power washed today. So y'all stay tuned and I'll give you guys another update once I make it over to the storage. Alright guys, so I'm over here at the Grand Am storage. Made it to the storage. So I'm over here, I've got to get the subframe with the engine and trans off of the cherry picker legs. So that way I can get the cherry picker over there to the 07 pre-storage so I can move that engine and subframe and shit out of the way of the car. So I've got my work cut out for me, so I'm gonna fucking put this phone back in my pocket and I'm gonna get to work getting this subframe and shit off this cherry picker, and then I'll give you guys another update once I make it over to the 07 storage with the cherry picker. Alright you guys, so got the picker over here at the 07 storage. So I just threw a shirt down so I don't scratch everything up with the chain. Well, I'll lift this thing up. And so I'm probably going to lift it up and then move it out here, and I'll set it on back on the jack stands out there. And then I can go ahead and lift the car, pull those jack stands, let it down on that rack there, or cart, and be able to roll out. And really, I don't even need to get it all the way out. I just need to get the engine bay out. So that's my goal. And that way I can get this thing all power washed, and then I just lift it up, set the engine and like this whole subframe on the legs, slide it under, use the picker, let it down. I think it'll work. So that's kind of my goal for the day. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright y'all, so I've got the subframe with the engine and shit sitting on the cherry picker. I just need to scoot it over a little bit and set it on the jack stands over there. And that way I can get the cherry picker in here, and I can just hook up on, I can take this little panel off here and I can hook the hook on there, and I can actually lift the whole car. And I'll probably have to take the hood off. But yeah, so I'll lift this up a little bit, pull the jack stands out, set it down on the cart, and I'll be able to roll it forward. I'm going to move the front bumper off the roof just because I don't want it to fall or get damaged or anything. But man, it's coming along and making some good progress, so I'll keep you guys updated. Alright guys, so got the engine and everything, subframe sitting out there on stands. I used the cherry picker, and instead of pulling this panel, I just hooked it on right here. I just lifted it up high enough to get the jack stands out and set it down on the cart. And if you look at it from in here, you can see there's still a space between the cart and the downpipe, and it's not touching the O2 sensor or any of that stuff. It's sitting right there, and over there it's not hitting any of the lines. So this works out pretty good. So now I should be able just to push this thing forward. So I'm going to grab some zip ties, and I'm going to zip tie the calipers back up into the strut towers. And actually, I think I'm going to bolt the struts back in and then zip tie those to the strut, to like the spring on the struts. But then that way they're sitting up a little bit higher. I don't have to worry about them banging off the ground or anything. And then I should be able to push this thing forward and power wash this thing. So y'all stay tuned and I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Alright, look at there, y'all. I got so much room in here now. No, she wheeled most of the way out. I'm like an inch from the edge, so I don't want to go any farther. Yeah, this will be good. You'll be able to see it better with it being light out here, but alright, I gotta run some water hose. Really nice though. I'm super stoked. It's coming along great. So I'm gonna move some stuff around, move the tools so I don't get them all soaking wet, and move some stuff that's out there, and run this power washer, get the hoses ran, and get this thing washed. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you guys updated. Alright you guys, so I'm waiting for my buddy Ray to get back here. I've got 3 hoses ran. It's most of the way up there. I just need like another 120 feet or so. And he said he's got 3 or 4 like 200-foot hoses. So hopefully he can just hook one up and that'll make it long enough to reach back here. And then once it reaches, well, I'm gonna let it flush through all these hoses because a couple of them's been sitting for a while. So I just don't want to get shit in the power washer. So I'm gonna let it pump some water out till ain't shit coming out. And then I'll kink it and get it on the washer. And then get the air out the lines and we'll be good to go. So y'all stay tuned and keep you guys updated once I get some water flowing. Guys, well I'm still waiting for Ray to get up, and I called him and he said he was going to grab that hose for me, but I don't know what's going on. So I'm eating some lunch right now, some ham cheese crackers and Dr. Pepper. So I'm still just waiting for Ray, and then once I get water I'll give you guys another update. So y'all stay tuned. Alright you guys, here let me clean off my lens. There we go. Alright, so I've got the 07 looking way better. Way better. Look at that radiator support, nice and clean. All this grease and grime that was down here is all gone. This looks way better than it did. Super excited. I'm very happy with how it's turning out. So now I'm pretty much done cleaning the car. So now it's just pushing it back in, which now I'm gonna have to move a bunch of stuff out of the way, but I can at least get it pushed back in here some, and then that way I can start worrying about trying to get the car lifted up and put it back on jack stands, and maybe try to get this subframe and engine and stuff back in there. I'm still kind of debating if I want to do that today or not, because I still need to get that EGR bolt, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to separate the engine and trans. So I'm not for sure if I'm going to be able to get the engine in today. It's also got kind of cloudy, and it said there was a chance of rain now, so but alright, well, that got cut short. He just went and turned the water off. Wasn't on very long. Oh well. It is what it is. But the car is pretty clean, so I'm happy with that. So I guess now I'm just gonna get this thing pushed back in here and go from there. So y'all stay tuned. Alright y'all, so I'm unhooking the water hose. So this is where his hose starts. Hold on. There we go. Look at all this hose. That's a lot of water hose. I'll give you guys another update here in a minute. Alright y'all, so I've got the 07 back in here. I used a cherry picker and I lifted it up and put it back on jack stands. So now this is completely loose. So I'm not for sure yet if I'm wanting to try to use this cart to put the engine and trans in. But like I said, I'm still probably not going to get to be able to do that today. So what I was kind of thinking about was just taking and setting this up here. And that way whenever I wheel this up here, I can set the engine and shit on the cart. And that way I can just wheel it around, move it out of the way. And I guess I'm going to end up having to pull the engine and trans back off the subframe to be able to get to that EGR bolt, because there's just no way, I just can't get to it. It's just at a weird angle, the way they made this tube. It like covers the bolt, so the only way to get to it is straight from the bottom, and the transmission's in the way. So it really sucks. It's probably going to have to come back apart. And that's going to delay a lot of progress, because I could have just had it back in. And I kind of want to put it in, but I know I'm going to have an exhaust leak there. And it's going to be more of a pain in the ass doing it in the car. So I'm just going to have to wait and pull it all back apart. But the engine bay looks 1,000 times better than it did. Everything cleaned up nice. Got all the gunk out of the corners, all the crevices. Like, it's not all red. It's like from factory. They didn't even paint the frame rails. And then it's all kind of scratched up here, which I don't know how that happened, but oh well. But it looks a hell of a lot better. Got the radiator support is all nice and clean. The underside of it is not painted either, but it's all nice and clean. Try to get in the fender wells, hit the struts, just cleaned them up. Got this air dam because it was just covered in dirt and shit. So, but man, everything's cleaned up pretty nice. It sucks I didn't get to wash the whole car, but it'll have its time. It'll be running here before too long, and I'll be able just to pull it out and just drive it across the street to the car wash. But man, it's coming along. So you guys stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys updated as I make some more progress on this thing and figure out this EGR valve situation. Alright guys, so I've got the cherry picker. I lifted up the subframe with the engine and trans off the jack stands, and I set it onto the cart, and I rolled the cart over here, but I can't get the wheels of the cart up over this 1-inch hump. So I'm having to lift it, the engine and cherry picker, or engine and subframe shit back up with the cherry picker so I can get the wheels up here. And then I've got to take this cord and throw it over so it doesn't catch up the wheels. And then I'm pretty much just going to kind of roll this in here, and it should clear. There should be enough room. So I've got the jack stands lifted as high up as they'll go, so they're fully extended. It's as high as I'm going to be able to get the car. I really don't think I'm going to be able to get the engine and shit to clear going under this way. Maybe if I was going through the side like I did the 06 through the fender well, but I just don't know. So we'll figure it out. I'll figure something out on getting this thing back in here. But like I said, before I do anything, the engine and trans is going to have to come back off that subframe. So it's the only thing that kind of sucks. But I will definitely keep you guys updated and let you know how it goes. So y'all stay tuned. Well, it took me a few minutes, but she's in there. She'll clear the door. She's on the cart. So now I just got to finish picking up my little bit of tools I got out here and pack in here over on this side. Take out all the rest of my tools sitting back there. It's my AC condenser I cleaned off. I had the power washer. I can actually see through it now, so it's a lot better. Yeah, so you see through it now, so that'll That should help with the AC. Wish there wasn't any problems with the AC before, but it's alright. And then I started putting the brake master and the ABS module back on, and I got to pull it back off because that AC line has to run through there first before that stuff goes on, so I got to pull those back off. But I made a lot of good progress today. I'm very happy with today and yesterday. I made a lot of progress yesterday pulling it all apart, getting it ready and scrubbing, so good weekend, very good weekend. So let me get some AC for a minute. Oh yeah, it feels so great. Alright, well, I'm going to keep working on this thing and finish getting all my stuff picked up and put in here. Looks like it might rain. They were saying we had a chance, but I guess we'll see. So I'm going to get all this stuff picked up and then I'll give you guys another update. Alright guys, so I made it home. It's almost 7 o'clock. So I gave my neighbor over here a ride to the store and he got some beers, so he hooked me up with a couple beers for giving him a ride. So I'm just going to sit here in the driveway and watch me some YouTube videos and drink me a couple beers and celebrate Memorial Day. So thank you to all the veterans out there. And that's probably going to be it for this video. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. So like, comment, subscribe. You know, leave me a comment down below and hit that bell notification and subscribe if you like the video. So y'all have a good night. I'll catch you in the next one.